Welcome to your LinkedIn training. In this lecture, I'm going to share with you critical elements to include in your LinkedIn profile. It's important for me to stress that I'm not telling you to go and open a LinkedIn account, especially if social media is something that you are against. It's a suggestion, it's an invitation to you that if you are open to it, you can create a LinkedIn profile. What is a LinkedIn profile? It's basically like an online CV. Why should you have a LinkedIn account in the first place? Firstly, LinkedIn is not Facebook. Facebook is very social. LinkedIn is more for professionals. It's for people to connect on a leadership level. Here are 3 reasons why I suggest that you open a LinkedIn account. Number 1, when you're working for a company and this particular company have 50 or more employees, LinkedIn is an easy way for you to connect with other people in your company even before you can meet with them in person. 2, when you are in a leadership position within a company and you're engaging with both people within the company and outside the company, whether they are your clients, whether they are your suppliers, it doesn't really matter. On LinkedIn, you can find these individuals before you meet with them in person. And by doing so, you can understand their background and prepare for that meeting accordingly. 3, LinkedIn as a business owner allows other potential clients to engage with you, as well as you can keep in touch with your existing clients. When I teach you how to create your LinkedIn account, I'll take you through my own LinkedIn account, and I'll take you through 6 steps that I believe are critical just to have the foundation of a good LinkedIn account. Once you have this foundation, you can build your LinkedIn account from there. Let's get started on creating your LinkedIn account. I'd like you to write down the following word on a page: social, SOCIAL. These are the 6 steps that I will guide you to in order to create your own LinkedIn account. So I have my own LinkedIn account open, and I'll be using this to guide you through those 6 steps. The S in social stands for skills. Your first step is to take your CV and establish all the skills that you have gained in your experience thus far. In the skills section, what you're looking at doing is to have at least 30 skills. Don't only have technical skills, have soft skills as well. So you'd see in my own LinkedIn account, I have skills like training, leadership, industry knowledge, then there's interpersonal skills. And when you have a lot of skills like this, then other people on your LinkedIn page who are connected to you can endorse those skills. What does endorsement mean? That means they agree with those skills. They have connected with you and engaged with you in some capacity, and the fact that you have included those skills on your page means that they're agreeing with the skills that you have listed. That's your first step in social. Have at least 30 skills, a mix of technical and interpersonal skills that showcase your experience thus far. The O in social stands for overview, and for this I'm going to just go further up in my own LinkedIn page. This is the most critical section of your LinkedIn account. It's where most people will get to view you, and based on what you say here, then they scroll down on your profile and they learn more. Your first step is to have a high profile image of yourself. Avoid having a picture which is a little bit casual. Remember, this is not Facebook. This is a professional business page. And I would suggest that you invest in a photographer to help you with a high profile corporate image shot. When you are taking that picture, my suggestion is to have a face shot, upper body, where you're looking straight on into the camera. Shows a little bit more confidence versus an angle shot or a look where you are angling your head either to one side or the other. On your overview page, you are allowed to also have some sort of background image. Now, you can have any image in the background as long as it depicts something about you and it means something in relevance to your personal brand. In my instance, I have a picture of my book that I have written. The caption is important. This is known as the headline. In my instance, it says Specialist in Leadership Development. This is the current position that you are in right now. Usually, LinkedIn will use your most current work experience and they'll use that to update it. You can override it with a current title of your own. If you have a look at here, it says the number of connections that you are connected to on LinkedIn. Your aim, if you're newbie to LinkedIn, is to get at least 50 connections. And then at some point, get to at least 500 connections. How do you find these 500 connections? Well, you have to sit one weekend and connect with everyone that you know. And once you've connected with those individuals over a period of time, as you meet new people, ask them if they are on LinkedIn and add them to your account. It helps to have as many connections as possible. Why? Because like I said earlier, when you are on LinkedIn and you're trying to find those clients that you're about to engage with, or trying to find new business connections to help you if you're a business owner, the more connections that you have in your LinkedIn account, the more accessibility you have to other people in this database. There is an overview section that describes something about you. In here, you get to say something about yourself. Now, what I don't want you to do here is to speak about yourself as if you are in third-party language. So avoid saying something like, Dineshrie Pillay is a specialist in leadership development. That's almost like a journalist speaking on your behalf. This is your page, and what's needed here is more identity to your page. So use more I statements. Have a bit of a summary in terms of something about yourself. If you're a business owner, talk about what inspired you to start your business. If you're a leader in business, talk about what inspires you in terms of your passion and what you do. Most importantly, people are looking to connect with you. So share somewhere in your profile in this overview section what you do to serve, what you do to help other people, what you do in your current capacity, whatever that role is, in order to make a difference. Because that's the reason why people are connecting with you. They want to work with you. So tell them how they can work with you. Somewhere in your profile also includes something about yourself to make it a little bit more personal. So in my instance, I have some sort of heading on hobbies and my own personal likes and my own enjoyment. And by adding that, it adds that personal touch. So it's not overly corporate. It gives the personality that's needed on this page. Finally, on this page is your name. Now, it sounds so simple, but let's assume that you have a very complicated name, or you have a simple name, but other people just refer to you by your shortened name. Now, if someone is looking to find you and you are using your shortened name or you're using your longer name, then make sure that somewhere on your profile you have your company name, so that when someone is finding you, they can put your shortened name plus the name of your company, because then it makes it easier to find you. My suggestion is always to put your own name in full and perhaps to put your shortened name in brackets, just so that they can connect with you. Let's assume you have a name that is very common. Let's call it Joe Soap. If your name is easily found on LinkedIn, there's many Joe Soaps. And I also suggest that you add some sort of personality to your name, like a company profile name. Make sure that your name is very specific to maybe the business unit that you're working in, because then it makes it easier for people to find you. That's the O in social. Let's go to the C. The C simply stands for career. So I'm moving down to the experience section in my own profile. And what you'll notice is that LinkedIn summarizes your work experience with your most current going down to your earliest experience. What I love about this is that it's a blank canvas. You basically can go into that LinkedIn section of your experience and add headings and subheadings as you feel fit. What I would advise you not to do is put a big shopping cart list of everything that you have done and basically copying it from your CV and dumping it into LinkedIn. Remember that LinkedIn is a little bit more personal. So what I would suggest is to put some sort of headings and subheadings. As an example, what are some of your accomplishments, notable achievements in this particular role? When you're including your work experience, also include any volunteer experience, making sure that you mention in your blurb, in your write-up, that it was a volunteer role. Why is this important? Because when someone is reviewing your profile, they can see that, yes, you have a full-time position, but at that same time, you are also participating in volunteer capacity or leadership roles in a volunteer capacity. And that tells me a little bit more about your propensity to lead and serve outside of your paid remuneration position. So yes, include all your work experiences. For graduates with little work experience, posting your volunteer positions also show that you have been actively involved in different industries and that you were a team player and perhaps you had some leadership positions. The I in social stands for integrate. LinkedIn allows you to integrate your LinkedIn account with other social platforms like Facebook and Twitter. What this allows you to do, if you are posting on LinkedIn and adding, say, an article or sending some sort of news feed to your own connections, by integrating your account, it also automatically updates your Twitter account and your Facebook accounts, depending on which account you have integrated to. Integration also means that you can integrate your LinkedIn account to other websites. So say you're a business owner or you're a leader in business, and perhaps a magazine or a newspaper have interviewed you. You can include in LinkedIn a link from your LinkedIn account to that other company's website where the article or that interview is sourced. So in my own LinkedIn account, I've included publications where I have been interviewed, and that particular publication link is integrated into my own LinkedIn page. I've also integrated some of my other websites so that a person can scroll through and go directly to my website from my LinkedIn account. And that's the power of integration. So you can integrate as many websites and different sources as possible. It just depends what you are doing and what you want your readers of your profile to know about you. That's the I in social. The A in social stands for attention. And what that means is the certificates that you have on hand. Short courses, long courses, your qualifications, your summary of educational background. This is this section of your LinkedIn account. So if you look at my own LinkedIn account, it basically has a summary of all my qualifications. In here, you can add any additional qualifications or short courses that you have included. I'm just going to discard that. And it allows a person just to get a snapshot of your own background, educational qualification-wise, and any other short courses that you are currently studying. In addition to your courses, you can also add any awards that you have been rewarded at work. So say you were rewarded with the top sales performer for the year, or maybe you were the top employee for the month. This is that section where you could also showcase some of those awards and let people know the reasons why you have achieved those awards. Even if you were nominated, it allows you to include that in this section. And again, I think it just is a nice touch just to show that leadership potential and that recognition of what you have achieved in your position. And finally, the L in social stands for leverage. This is a very powerful section of your LinkedIn account. You get this right and it just does this to your LinkedIn account. It boosts it. It raises your profile. This is that section in your CV that's also known as your references. It's called recommendations. In this section of LinkedIn, you can ask people in your connection within your LinkedIn account. As long as they are connected to you, they're part of that 50 connections or that plus 500 connections, to ask them to give you a formal reference on LinkedIn. How do you do this? Let's say you are a leader in business and you have done something for some other business unit. And that person says, wow, that's an amazing job that you did. Thank you for your input on that. at that point, ask them, are you on LinkedIn? Do you mind giving me a formal recommendation on LinkedIn? And so what you can do is get them to recommend you for that particular bit of work that you have done. I like this section because if you look at my own LinkedIn account, as individuals have recommended me over the course of time, it's a moment in history which shows to a person reading my profile the people that I've interacted with, and they are giving a recommendation for a specific role. So earlier on, when you have mapped out the career and the experience that you have, say you have multiple positions, a person can go back and recommend you when they knew you back when you were in a particular position. And so what I like about that is they can write as long or as short a recommendation as possible. When you receive this recommendation from these individuals, you get a message that pops up into LinkedIn that says, you have received a new recommendation. Would you like to add this to your page? So you are afforded the opportunity to read the recommendation, see if you are happy with it. And if you really want to, you can ask the person to just maybe update some of the content. It goes back to them before it comes live on your page. So it'll come back to you one more time to say, this is the updated recommendation. Would you like to include this onto your page? Once you click on that, it is on your page. So like I said, the best way to get a recommendation is to give one. What you're aiming for is at least 5 recommendations when you are starting off your LinkedIn page. And as you progress in your career, you will build onto these recommendations. So in summary, the 6 steps to create your LinkedIn account. The S stands for skills. Have at least 30 skills, which is a mix of technical skills and interpersonal skills. The O stands for overview, which is that first section of your profile picture, your overview, and it's that 50+ connections. The C stands for career, and that is a summary of your work experience. The I stands for integrate. Find ways to integrate your LinkedIn page with other sources that's available on the website that showcase you as an individual. The A stands for attention. Create a summary of your educational background, courses, and your achievements in terms of awards that you have been rewarded. And finally, the L stands for leverage. Get those recommendations. As soon as someone has given you a reference in person, verbally, ask them to put that in writing on your LinkedIn account. Once you have completed this, get in touch with me, find me on LinkedIn, and I'm more than happy to have you message me, and I'll gladly review your LinkedIn account and give you quick feedback in terms of anything else that I believe you can do to upgrade and just create a more impactful LinkedIn account. Enjoy the process, and I'll see you on LinkedIn.